So I'm going to have Christy demonstrate a subtle difference in the pole set technique. We're using the same setup with the bungee on the plus, but I'm kind of obsessive about this one because I've had people put spinnaker poles through my jibs before. So she's going to just push the pole forward, which releases it. With that setup, it just naturally snaps off, and then she's going to rotate it towards herself between her and the boom. When you put it out sideways, if the jib hasn't been eased enough, I have multiple jibs with holes about that height, okay? And then again, it's forward first. I always tell crew forward first, and hold it there until I can do this. As Jeff pointed out, and Jeff and Heather pointed out, if you don't have that pole in contact with the spinnaker early, it's gonna be really difficult to trim. It can be done, but it's way harder. And I don't care how long it takes my crew. I do care, but if I have to choose between I can get it out there or I can get it here, get it out there. That is the first priority. Then up here, then we can tweak with topping lift and all those other things. Okay.
Then I usually blow the Vang.
I expect the Vang to be eased on every run, regardless of the wind conditions, because I set the Vang every beat for the upwind. The release, what she's going to do is she's going to watch right here, and she's going to just, when you go ahead and crank it tight, okay, you can see that the mast bends a little bit, so she's going to pop it until the mast straightens out. And as soon as it's released, then she cleats it again. We might do some other adjustment on the run, but the deal is when you're sailing upwind, your mast is bent. That depowers your mainsail. Okay. A bent mast pulls, stretches that fabric at the front of the sail forward, making it flatter. Well, releasing the Vang not only lets the boom rise up, which gives you a deeper sail, which is better for off the wind, but it straightens that mast, which gives you a deeper sail. And then while you're on the run, we're going to tweak out haul, and I've never touched my Cunningham. I don't know what it's for. I'm not going to lie. I genuinely don't know how to use it. It's a green piece of string on the boat.
Is it always green?
Pretty much. It's
pretty much.
Most of for some
Like
reason,
they
most
brought
boats
it.
seems to be popular. And that may be a people that that may be a because I don't need it because of other assets that I possess. Influence. The jibes and all that stuff are the same thing as you already talked about, so I don't want to go ad nauseum with that.
But
Christy, let's go ahead and do a jibe. Show her the technique, how you do the release. With the
yeah, one thing I want to talk about, like when we go up, many times we are coming in on port, so we're easing and he's hoisting, and while he's hoisting is when I'm setting that pole, and so that will fill. I'll break the Vang as I'm sitting, reach behind, and we're doing a controlled put away of that. My hand is already here. I will grab, say, my sheet, and I'll just move over, and now we're sailing with it trimmed. So it's really very similar to.
But she's grabbing that sheet out of my hand.
Yes.
Because I am going to sail the boat and control the spinnaker until it's taken from me. Okay? If it's not taken from me, her job is to do whatever she needs to do to keep us going downwind fast. I can trim a spinnaker. I saw it happen once. It happened. I follow, there's usually instructions in front of me, and we would just do what they do. But seriously, all kidding aside, I want these sheets. I'm going to set my pole. I'll clean it. I'll have it in hand. Like this. You'll see me moving around like this, looking for things. You're steering with your tiller.
And you can fill your chute without a pole.
It's a tall guy problem. Okay, so we're still down here. And then when she's ready, she's going to reach her hand under the main sheet. And if I see her arm come over the main sheet, under the main sheet. And no through the main sheet, always under, always under. An accidental jibe will break your arm. Light air, that's not usually an issue, but I just make sure that we don't do that. Chrissy, anything?
Oh, the only thing I was going to say, and he uses this technique a lot when I say this is too damn windy, we're not putting up the chute. He'll launch the chute without the pole and fly it. When that happens to your crew, you can sail it, but you want to get that pole on because it's a lot safer. But you can, so even if it's completely full and flying, instead of grabbing it off the deck, you're just grabbing it, sliding it up, and it's the same thing.
I personally feel safer in heavy air with a spinnaker up than I do with a jib. I feel the boat is more balanced with the spinnaker. I know that sounds counterintuitive because there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and in really heavy air, it can be better to just not add the complexity. But I feel that the boat is more stable with the power driving. The big, as Jeff called the big engine. Well, I don't want the big engine in the back of my boat in big air. I want the big engine in the forward pulling me downhill. I don't need to be getting pushed downwind. I want to get being pulled downwind. So I get that spinnaker up and the Vang off is a big deal, because if you do get a gust as it starts rounding you up, all you have to do is flatten the boat, release that Vang, the boom goes up, boat flattens down. You don't do that, you go for a swim. It's good. Adam.
What do you do with the spinnaker sheet when you get grounded?
Leave it cleated, otherwise you will guarantee a roundup. If you ease the spinnaker sheet during a roundup, you will go for a swim. If you ease the spinnaker guy a little bit, if it's not already on the pole, on the forward, if your spinnaker is not already on the forestay, you could put the pole forward. But usually if you're rounding up, the spinnaker's already on the forestay. It's your main sheet that rounds you up. It's your main. It's not your spinnaker. Your spinnaker wants to pull you downwind. Yes.
Can I point out some naval architecture stuff?
Go for
Why
it.
that happened? So going back to the whole concept of centerboard up or down on downwind. So the center of rotation on every sailboat is that centerboard. And so as you guys can think, the geometric mean of the triangle of the main is behind this center of rotation of where that centerboard is. And so any pressure that is pushing on that main is going to make the boat twist right, in this case, rounding up. However, if we over trim or trim that spin on that roundup, now we have the geometric mean of force in the middle of the spinnaker or even the jib, and that is forward of the center of rotation on the boat. So that's going to make the boat twist to the left, theoretically helping stopping that rotation up.
Hey, here's another pro tip I learned from sailing some different boats. If you're really spicy and dicey and you got in big air and you're worried about rounding up, leave your jib out. Leave your jib out. Leave your jib out. And should you start getting rounded up, backwind it. It will pull your bow straight back down. I don't know how many of you guys ever get opportunities to sail in 20, 25, but if you're out there on a reach in 20, 25 and that boat starts turning up, you got that jib out, grab the windward jib sheet, pull it up to the mast, and we'll spin the boat down.
Then let go.
And then let go. And then let go. You don't want to keep doing it. But that will pull you down. That does work. Works on Buccaneers and and other symmetric and asymmetrically rigged boats. So go ahead and get.
And for that center of pivot, I do not have great leg strength, but I have great leg length. So you'll find me, you don't lean side to side because that's imparting. So if I need assistance, I will stand straight up and you'll see that my feet really don't move.